It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict. Today we're talking about we're sitting down with the Cottonwood Historic Preservation Commission, and here from that commission is the chair of the commission, Tim Alinsky, as well as Commissioner Ryan Bigelow. They're here to talk about, just kind of give us a rundown on what the commission is, what they do, and also to talk about their historic home and building tour that's coming up a few months from now, November 12th. But we're going to touch on that, volunteers, and just kind of cover the entire commission. So I want to thank you guys for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So first off, Tim, can you tell me a little bit about the Cottonwood Historic Preservation Commission?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So it was formed in 2011, I believe, and really kind of as a reaction to the community losing the Strahan House, which was down in Old Town. It was the old red brick kind of Queen Anne Victorian home that was there across from where Hog Wild is. When that home was tore down, I like many members of the community, was very distressed that we were losing a lot of our historic resources. So working with staff through Charlie Scully, we came up with the concept of forming a historic preservation commission, and the council approved that, and we, by ordinance, I believe we formed in 2011. And been going strong ever since.
Going strong ever since, okay. Yeah. And now we mentioned at the top this historic home and building tour. Is that something you guys do every year?
It is, yeah. We're in our third planning year right now. Really, Ryan and I kicked it off and had, I think, a very successful first year and picked up the pace on the second year. And so we're a little better organized this year and looking forward to our third year doing the home tour.
Great. Again, that's November 12th. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show, some of the more details. But Ryan, how long have you been with the commission?
I'm an original member of the Historic Preservation Commission, so kind of one of those things where I have a degree in history actually and needed a place to use it. Saw that this might be a good fit, and it really has been. It's something that you can enjoy, take it almost like a hobby, but then there's also some real depth to it. There's some real meaning, and I think we're doing some really good things for the community.
So now, would you say one of the main goals or the mission of this commission to really just kind of preserve these historic buildings?
To preserve and promote our community's history, really. And one of our primary goals, too, is economic development. And a lot of studies have shown that historic preservation promotes economic development. So we're really here to promote, preserve our history, but also provide economic incentives to the community.
So when we're talking about these historic buildings, homes, I mean, are we kind of covering everything? Are these structures that people currently live in? Are they occupied, or are they vacant, or what are we talking about here with these buildings?
And there's so much history, and I think it's hard to narrow it down to just homes or building, because history in general here is deep. This was a mining community. There were several different mining communities all within this Verde Valley here. So to say, the home tour focuses on homes and buildings, but the history, there's agricultural history here. There's mining history here. There's, the river has played a huge part in the Verde Valley's history. So we want to touch on all of that and somehow wrap that all together. I think that's what gives us the historic culture that we're looking for here in the Verde Valley.
Now, how much of a role does the community play in kind of bringing awareness to you guys about certain just historic sites or historic buildings? I mean, do you learn about these through the community, or how do you guys find out about this?
Well, we're a 7-member commission, and we have two distinct members of our commission that have a great depth of knowledge for our community's history. So Glenda Farley is the one that's top of mind. She's really a walking encyclopedia of our community's history. We do try to collaborate a lot with other historic societies like Clemenceau. We're trying to work hard with Clemenceau to get some communication back and forth, some dialogue back and forth, and figure out ways that we can collaborate more closely. We collaborated with them on our last home tour, which was successful, and we're hoping to collaborate more closely with them this year as well.
I think one of the reasons we're here, though, is to promote the Historic Preservation Commission as an opportunity for people to come and give us those ideas and what would they like to see, to be active participants in their community. We meet monthly, and the public is always invited to come to those meetings, and we'd love to see more public, try to shape our agendas and try to give us that feedback that we're looking for.
So in addition to the members of the commission, volunteers, do you guys have, with this historic home and building tour, are you going to have volunteers that are part of that, or do they kind of help you guys throughout everything that you do?
Everything that we do. The Historic Preservation Commission is 100% volunteer based. We rely heavily on, for the home and building tour, I think we had 30 or 40 volunteers last year. It's a pretty big number, and we're going to be looking for more this year. You can volunteer in any of those aspects.
Okay, and for more information on this Historic Preservation Commission, you can call 928-634-5505, or you can also go to cottonwood.az.gov and search for the commission on there. And just for more information, there's a lot of information. I did that search on that website as well and pulled up. You guys also have all the meeting minutes and agendas for all their meetings on there, so you can kind of keep up with what's going on. So now, Tim, you mentioned this matching grant program before the show, and that's really something that I think is a great kind of program. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so the matching grant program, we started it last year. And the concept behind it is that the home tour makes money because we charge admission, we get business sponsorships, so it does generate a very modest amount of income. And so what we wanted to do, the first year we funneled that money into the Civic Center because the city right now is looking at pumping some money into the restoration of the Civic Center. So we wanted to try to raise some money to put into that cause. So that money hasn't been spent, but we raised about $2,400. Which can be allocated to the restoration on the Civic Center. So the second year, the concept was to maybe plug that money into a matching grant program. So again, the home tour doesn't cost the citizens anything, but it does generate money, and that money we want to have pumped back into the local economy. So basically, if you have a historic landmarked property, you can apply for the grant. It's a 50-50 matching grant, and it's for any kind of an exterior rehabilitation project on your home. So if you need a new roof, you want to change your windows out to make them more historic, you want to paint your home, put a more historic looking fence in front of your property, whatever type of project you want to do, as long as it's on the outside, you can apply for this grant. And the commission will put up half, and then the homeowner would pay the other half, based on how much money there is in the pool. And so last year for the home tour, we raised, I want to say, there's about $4,000 right now in the pool.
Okay, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. And there's only 3 landmarked properties in Cottonwood. So we're really trying to get the word out that there's money available, there's a real benefit to landmarking your property, and you can do so through the commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll maybe touch on some of that they're looking for some new homes and new buildings and just kind of, properties, as well as talk about dive more into the home and building tour coming up again on November 12th. For more information, 928-634-5505. This is Countywide. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Todd's a great guy. Look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict, joined with Chair of the Cottonwood Historic Preservation Commission, Tim Malinsky, as well as Commissioner of the Commission, Ryan Bigelow. That has a nice ring to it, huh?
I love it. I love it.
We were talking about, before break, what the commission does and kind of what the mission is. And you mentioned right before we went to break, Tim, that you guys are looking for some new homes, or just, I guess, property in general. What is kind of the process? So if I think I have a historic property or building or home or whatever it is, what's the process to kind of get that landmarked?
So the home must be 50 years older.
Okay.
So really there's a lot of homes in Cottonwood that would qualify. And we'd like to see that the home has some sort of architectural significance, historical significance, maybe somebody famous, locally famous had lived there. Really those are the main criteria.
Now, if I know that the home I live in is over 50 years old, is there, would I call you guys to come out and maybe look over everything and just, I guess, solidify the fact that it is historic and it would classify as a landmark? Is that something I would call you guys about that?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you'd contact the commissioner, you'd contact staff at the planning department, Charlie Scully.
Okay.
We'd be able to come out and do an assessment on the home. So we're working on a survey right now. We've got, I would say, most of Old Town surveyed as far as what would qualify as historic. And we're working to branch out and do the main and Mingus neighborhood. And a lot of homes now up in Verde Heights are eligible as well, and there's homes scattered throughout the community that are eligible.
Okay, well, and you did mention that it's not just homes. I mean, not just residential homes.
Buildings and businesses. I would like to work with Mr. Grossetta too and the Cottonwood Ditch Association to see if they would like to landmark their ditch, which was on the home tour last year. We can talk about that in a minute. But another thing too is your home doesn't need to be pristine. It doesn't need to be. It can be a significant home in our community, but the idea of landmarking is really just to promote its historic character. And so, if you don't have historic windows in your home, but it's old, I wouldn't worry about that. We can work. You can work through the commission, maybe apply for the grant to try to bring your home back to its original historic status. So again, if it's not pristine, don't worry.
The commission wants to work with you to make this happen. We want to help you through that process, make sure that you understand what you're getting into, why landmarking it, what the benefits are, and how the process works. we would like to make it as easy as possible for people to do that.
So now, will you guys help with kind of the process of digging up that history of the property? That's another where you guys come in and help with that. Okay, so really, I mean, contact you guys if you think you have a historic home, it's over 50 years old and you're kind of curious. Contact the Historic Preservation Commission then, right? Okay, and you can do that 928-634-5505, or again online you can search for the commission on cottonwood.az.gov's website. Okay, kind of going back to the historic home and building tour again. That's November 12th. What is that exactly?
It's a tour that will run us through Old Town and up into the Clemenceau district, really showcasing some of our finer homes and buildings in the community.
The first 2 years it was, we said it was a walking tour, self-guided walking tour. This year and even last year a little bit, we're working with the local CATS, Lynx buses to try to help us with some transportation and not just have it just be in Old Town. Old Town has the name to it and the focus, of course, but there are a lot of other areas. The Clemenceau area specifically, I think this year is where we're going to try to head. But we want to promote the history of all of Cottonwood and all of the Verde Valley, not just Old Town, but of course Old Town has as the low-hanging fruit, if you will. They've got a lot of significant buildings and homes down there.
Okay, and then what's that going to cost for that tour?
Our tour is just $20.
Okay.
We think it's very fair, very reasonable. Tim did a really good job putting together a survey after our last 2 tours to kind of get a feel for what we've done right, what we maybe can work on. Price was definitely one of those things that we felt was very fair, and included with that, we were even getting people into some of the local wineries and working with the wine consortium to also give some wine tastings. There were some other venues that were offering just drink tastings if wine was not your thing. And we were able to reimburse those local businesses for their participation. So one of the things that we're trying to do with the home tour is kind of be self-sustaining and make sure that we're giving back to the community, not just asking for handouts, if you will.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that money goes kind of back into preserving these properties and things. Okay, so you guys mentioned volunteers are a huge part of what you do. Meetings are open to the public, and that's all on the website as well for information on that. But I guess what are some of the other things throughout the year that you guys are doing? In addition to this home and building tour.
Well, currently we're working on we're always working on the survey, expanding our historical survey. We're also working on getting some sign toppers for the Old Town District and some of the other neighborhoods. So those will be the historic looking signs that you see on top of street post signs that would indicate you're in a historic district. We're working at getting some plaques together as well for some of our landmarked properties. So again, another incentive to landmark your properties. You get a little plaque put on your home or business that indicates it's historically significant.
One of our biggest accomplishments, I think, was getting to be a certified local government, which kind of actually it gives us the teeth that we are a historic preservation commission. We do have the power within our ordinance to make some decisions, some meaningful decisions. We can only go over the properties that are landmarked. We're not trying to oversee them. We're just trying to help them make the right decisions and or keep the history of the town, and not just go all off and start painting your house neon pink when that has no historic significance in the area.
Okay, and so now if I have a home. And it's going to be, I contact you guys and say eventually it's part of the tour. Now, is this something I have to open up to people, the public? Are they going to be coming through the home? What's kind of the feel of that for the owners of these properties? How does that work?
Yeah, you would have to open up your home or business if you wanted to be on the tour. The tour this year is going to run from 9 to 4. So for that time stretch, there will be people in and out of your home, throughout the day. It's not a lot of impact because I don't think we'll probably have more than 200, 250 people on the tour this year. Okay. So it won't be a tremendous amount of impact. I think a lot of people are concerned because of the home tour in Jerome. I think it's the longest running home tour in the state, and they just attract, I think, thousands of people to do that tour. So there's quite a bit of impact up there. So I think people are hesitant to open their homes. But down here, there's really not as much impact. I think at some point we may even cap the amount of people that can attend the tour to make sure that there's not a lot of impact to your home. But the last 2 years we've done it, we haven't received any complaints at all. Folks are very happy to open their homes, and people are proud of their homes. They're proud to share their home and business.
And we keep volunteer docents in the home at all times, so we're never leaving your home vacant and just open to anybody to come in. So there is some supervision there. Homeowners are more than able to stay with their home if that's something they choose. I think most homeowners choose not to. They don't want to hear anybody say, "Ooh, what's that?" But I think that we've done a good job of securing those locations and making sure that everything turns out good.
Yeah, all you need to do is agree to opening up your home. We'll do all the history, all the research on it. We'll provide the volunteers to be at your home to chaperone your home. So.
They just need to contact you guys. Okay, great. Again, looking for new homes and for more property, just in general, historic property, or even if you think it might be historic, you can contact them, 928-634-5505. We're going to take our second break here. This is Countywide. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
This was me. And Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack. And this was the day that I learned that sandals get their name from sand. That jellyfish aren't made of jelly. That stars don't just come from the sky. That the ocean is bigger than all of us. This is the day we all got to forget that I was sick. And it changed everything. This was my wish.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
Welcome back to Countywide. Just a couple minutes left in the program. Sitting down with Chair of the Cottonwood Historic Preservation Commission, Tim Malinsky, as well as the Commissioner, Ryan Bigelow, here to talk about their home building tour, which we covered right before the break, November 12th. And as we mentioned, I'll say it again, looking for new properties. If you just think, again, Tim, you mentioned 50 years, at least 50 years old.
That's correct.
Okay, so if you know your property or you think it might be at least 50 years old, and there may be some historic value there, you can contact the Historic Preservation Commission. Again, phone number 928-634-5505. So what are you guys kind of doing to get ready for this tour? I mean, November, it's a little ways away, but it's nice to get the word out there, especially given you guys are looking for some properties and stuff.
Believe it or not, we've been meeting for this year's event. We've got a small group of volunteers again to try to help and coordinate this year. You know, for better or for worse, Tim and I took on a lot of this the first 2 years, and I think we decided that was a bad idea. On our lives in general, and then, you know, the product, the more people we can kind of involve, and the earlier we can get a start on things, the better. So we're starting to narrow down our houses, our buildings, which ones are in, which ones are out. We definitely have a really good start on the research as of now, and we're starting to get a good idea of even creating our list for next year's properties of you know, thinking in the future, I mean, that far ahead of where we're going to be at. So we're definitely in the works of this year's event.
Okay, and as we mentioned, volunteers, could you maybe run through a couple things that volunteers do for you guys and how they help so much?
Certainly, yeah. Well, just planning the event, you know, from throughout the year like we're doing now, we do have a couple volunteers that are helping out with the planning. As the day draws nearer, we're going to need folks to distribute the flyers and the posters and get the word out. The day of the event, of course, we need as many docents as we can get. We'd like to have 2 docents at each station on the tour. So there's really a wide variety of ways that people can get involved. If you want to be a docent, if you want to just help set up, you know, table the event, put up banners, you want to help distribute flyers. If you want to help research history, there's really many ways that folks can get involved.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And this year we even want, you know, at minimum 2 docents, but maybe even 3 or 4 at each location, so we can come up with a rotation so our docents can actually even go on the tour themselves too. That's one of the things, is that we have these history buffs volunteering for us. They would also like to be able to be on the tour, so we would like to be able to provide that opportunity if we can.
Great, yeah. I mean, if you have any interest in history, history. I mean, what a place to volunteer. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys for coming in today and talking about this. Thanks. Again, the Cottonwood Historic Preservation Commission's home in building tour November 12th. They're looking for homes and volunteers. For more information, you can call 928-634-5505. You can also visit cottonwood.az.gov and search for the commission on there. That's going to do it for today's Countywide. I'm Kyle Benedict. We'll see you next time.